So this strategy is so simple that I'm actually going to demonstrate it initially on the Betfair website. I'm going to go in, type a few things, and you'll see the strategy unfold real time. What we will then do is use BetAngel to do it, because obviously that is a much more efficient way of doing any particular strategy. And there is another video available where we completely automate this entire process. It was too long to put on here, so if you want to watch that video, I will include a link that you can jump to so you can see how you can fully automate what we're about to do. But yeah, this strategy is so simple that to start with, we're going to do it on the Betfair website. So we're going to be looking at a strategy called Dobbing. Dobbing stands for double or bust, and you will find out why in a second. But basically it's a strategy you would do before the off to get matched when an event is in play. We're looking at a race here at Chelmsford City. You can see the horses are going down, stroke about to start. They're probably at the post by now. And basically what we do to start this trade is we back a horse, and we do that with a certain stake. So you can see we're backing Jack the Truth at 10 with £10. That's a nice round number. You can see we've been matched in the market, and this is where the bust of the double or bust comes in, because if the next bet that we put into the market doesn't get matched, we will lose £10, so we will lose our stake. But the next part of this particular trade is to actually put in a bet that we will get matched at in play. And to do that, we take the opening price of the bet. So if you look at the bet, the odds on that initial bet, we put in £10 at 10. So to put the closing part of the bet in, I'm going to put £20 at 5. So we will place that into the market. That will not get matched at this particular moment in time. So we need to do a thing called a keep bet. We convert it to a keep bet. This means that when this position actually gets matched or goes into the when this race goes into the in-play period, this bet will persist into the in-play period. So we've got it matched while the horses are at the post, but by marking it as a keep bet, this means that that will stay into the market when the race actually goes in play. So we now need to just watch and see what happens when the race goes in play. So the race is about to go in play. If we click the refresh here, you'll see this going in play to changing to in play. There we go. And now we have to wait for this bet to get matched. And the reason that we're doing this counter bet in the market is that when this bet gets matched, we will earn more. Well, you'll see what will happen in a second. But basically by getting it into the market at 5, so we're not saying that this horse is going to win. We're going to say that it's in contention at some particular moment in time. And you can see that already at the start of this race, because it's a 5 furlong race, it's a very, very short race, you can see that we've been matched very quickly. We'll see what happens towards the rest of the race. You can see, in fact, Jack the Truth is running a good race at this particular moment in time. We will wait a little bit to see if he goes on to win. And you can actually see that he's beginning to weaken now in the final furlong. And in fact, it's Global Prospector that is going to actually win this race. And in fact, Jack the Truth is tailed off in third. So the great thing about this particular type of trade that you can do is that it takes advantage of the fact that a horse is in contention at some point. The horse doesn't have to win the race, it just needs to be in contention. Before the off, we backed with a stake of £10 at 10. We then immediately put a lay bet in at half those odds, and we doubled our stake. That's where the double bit comes in to this strategy. We then kept that bet to the in-play period, where it got matched as Jack the Truth came into contention, and that actually left us with a profit of £10 regardless of who goes on to win. And that was helpful because it wasn't actually Jack the Truth that went on to win, it was Global Prospector. And in a nutshell, that is Dobbing on Betfair. So it's obviously a lot easier to use a piece of software. We can achieve the same that we did on the website with just a few clicks if we're using BetAngel. Better than that, we can automate it. But for the automated version of this strategy, I'm going to do it in a separate video because it takes a little bit of time to talk you through all of that. But I will include a link in this video so that you can skip straight to that. But let's see how we would do this strategy on BetAngel. So how would we dob on BetAngel? Well, it's a fairly simple process. I'm going to demonstrate that to you now in a couple of minutes. And basically we've set up the one-click screen here so that it's fairly standard. You've got back prices over here, lay prices over here, and that's because the odds display is normal, and there's nothing special with what we've done on the screen here. We've set the stakes over here so you can back or lay with £10 stakes. We're obviously going to place a back bet into the market. So if we click over here, it will place a £10 back bet in the market. But we need it to dob, so what we need to do is adjust some of these settings. So if I go up here and do an offset bet, I'm not going to offset by 1 tick. What I'm going to do is offset by a percentage, and because we're dobbing, it's going to be 50%. So if I click over here, BetAngel would put the back bet in and then a lay bet in 50% below where we are. But that would be an unhedged position, so to make sure that the position is fully hedged across all of the selections, we will select offset bet with greening. So basically I'm going to click over here, it's going to back for us, and then it will place an offset bet at a fully hedged position to complete our dobbed trade. So I just need to select which runner I'm interested in. We'll go for this particular runner here. I'm not choosing it for any particular reason, just doing it for demonstration purposes. So I will click here. You can see we went in, we put our back bet in at odds of 8. BetAngel offset it to odds of 4, which is basically a dob trade. And you can see it's used a stake of £20. But when this race goes in play, at the moment it will cancel, and we obviously need to make sure that this bet gets matched in play. So if I click on the keep all button, that will keep that bet in play for us where it can get matched to complete our dobbing trade. So they're almost loaded in this particular race. There's just a couple of horses out. But basically when this race goes in play, we will see the in-play indicator change up here, and this bet should stay through to the in-play period, where hopefully we will get matched. So they're just bringing the last horse forward at the moment. It's been a bit reluctant to go into the stalls, but they've managed to do that, and the race will be off in a second. If we look up here, you'll see the in-play indicator take place, and you can see that the bet has been kept over to the in-play period. So this is just over a mile long, and we basically want the price of this horse to reach 4 in play. At the start of the race, that's unlikely, because obviously there's still a lot of things to happen in this particular race. But as we approach the business end of the race, then it's much more likely to get matched, because there will be a number of horses in contention. And at that point, all of the odds will begin to contract. But at this particular stage of the race, nobody particularly knows who the winner is. The horses are split at the moment across the course, so it's a bit of a gamble as to which side of the course is running slightly better. But if we wait for just a short period of time, we will see this actually get matched as we get towards the business end of the race. So we're now at the business end of the race. We're inside the last 2 furlongs, and you can actually see that the horse that we picked came briefly into contention, but a number of other horses here are performing a little bit better. In fact, it's quite a wide open race, as you can see, and despite the fact that the horse that we picked hasn't come anywhere near winning this particular race, that little bit of period that we saw inside the last few furlongs was enough to push the price down to a decent level, and for us to get our trade matched. So what I've demonstrated here is dobbing. It's basically you put a stake into the market, you put it at a much lower price, get that matched in play, and then you will make money regardless of what happens from that point within the race onwards. Now there is a process of selection that is required with this particular strategy. You need to identify races and horses where it's more likely that this characteristic will show itself within the market. However, that takes another video that is going to need to be produced, and if you're interested in wanting my thoughts on how you can pick selections that are more likely to be successful on this strategy, then give me a like or a comment, and I will certainly follow up and give you a bit more depth behind this strategy and the numbers that sit behind it. But what you've seen in this video anyway is how to implement this strategy either on the Betfair website or using some of the simple tools on BetAngel. If you want to look at how to completely automate this, then look at the description where I'll put a link to a video where I completely automate this process as well. Anyhow, I hope that video has been useful for you.